Red or black? Red, black. Sorry, didn't see you there. So hello guys, how are you getting on? You're very welcome back to The Verdict. It has been quite a while since I have made one of these videos. I have been ill over the course of the Christmas and have been unable to make videos, and I'm still not 100% better. Yeah, I said I'd make a video today because there is a lot of football to talk about. Let's get into it. I think you don't see me 'cause I'm moving so fast. We call it rock and rolling. So starting off then with the meaning of that intro, and Manchester City's unbeaten record in the Premier League is finally gone after, what was it, 19 games? I think we're midway through the season now. And the unbeaten record is gone, ended last night by Liverpool in one of the games of the season, if not the game of the season. So much attacking talent on show. Liverpool taking the lead early on. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who I have to give a special mention, him and Andy Robertson, in my opinion, two of the best players on the pitch, probably didn't get enough credit that they were due. But yeah, Oxlade-Chamberlain with a great low strike from long range to give Liverpool the lead. And you know, I did expect Liverpool to come out the way they did, out very quick out of the blocks, looking to get at City. We've seen it with Bristol City during the week in the League Cup, that if you go at this Man City side, they're going to be rattled, and City were rattled very early on. Liverpool didn't let them play out of the back like they usually would, and it rattled them. And a great goal by Oxlade-Chamberlain certainly did set the tone. Spanner in the works just before half time. Then a long ball from Kyle Walker takes Joe Gomez out of the game, and Leroy Sané fires in at the near post. And the one thing I will say about Liverpool is they have a big problem with their goalkeeper situation at the minute. Jurgen Klopp is really yet to decide who his number one is. Is it Karius? Is it Mignolet? And it doesn't help the fact that he keeps interchanging them between games. He'll play Mignolet for a few, he'll take him out. He'll play Karius for a few, take him out again. It doesn't install any confidence in the player and in the rest of the team, in my opinion. I think he just needs to get a real number one in that he can trust, and at the minute he doesn't have that. And Karius was beaten at his near post poorly enough. His hands were in a really bad place, and City, without pulling up any trees, were back in the game just before half time. Now at half time, Liverpool fans were probably fearing the worst. City had just scored before half time, and the wind would have been in their sails, you would have thought. But again, credit to Liverpool. They came out second half, great character, great spirit, and they took the lead again. Through ball by Oxlade-Chamberlain, finding Roberto Firmino, shoves off John Stones far too easily. Now, never been John Stones' greatest fan, and 50 million was a lot of money for him, and it's proven to be that he can't live up to that price tag. He gets shoved off the ball far too easily by Roberto Firmino. You look at the size difference between the two, he really shouldn't be shoved off that easily, but he was, and a lovely little dink over Ederson, making it 2-1 to Liverpool, and probably against all the odds, considering the fact that Man City had the greater mental strength, you could say. That they were going into the second half far more brightly than Liverpool would have on paper, after getting that goal just before half time. But Liverpool, to be fair to them, came out brilliant, and they scored again a few minutes later. Sadio Mane, who had hit the post a couple of minutes earlier, then found himself in a similar position, had to swipe it out with his left, and a brilliant finish into the top corner. 3-1, and Liverpool, when they're in this kind of mood, you're thinking they can beat anyone. They really can. And I think I said it in my last Verdict video, that it must be so frustrating to be a Liverpool fan, knowing you've got that attacking firepower, but always having that shakiness at the back. Even when they were 2-3-1 up, and a member of their back five, you could say, got the ball, not a back five, but say Lovren or Matip or Karius got on the ball, there was a certain amount of edginess amongst the fans and the players, and that doesn't help. It really doesn't. But anyway, Liverpool grabbed their fourth, a mistake by Ederson. He doesn't make many coming out to try and clear a long ball, giving it straight to Mohamed Salah, and he only had one thought in his mind, and that was goal. First touch was brilliant, gets it out of his feet and dinks it over Ederson, who had no chance. And 4-1 Liverpool, and they deserved it. They were that much better than City at the time, in my opinion. They were completely rattled. You could see City, to be fair to them, Guardiola was still not changing his tactics or not changing his philosophy, and still tried to play out from the back, and it wasn't working. You know, they were getting pressed, and for the Mane goal, Otamendi was pressed and lost out to Salah, and Mane went on to score. You know, similar, when Ederson came out, he had no one to pass it to. He just gave it straight to Salah. You know, Liverpool's pressing game. I did say before the game that if there was anyone that could beat Man City in the Premier League, it would be Liverpool at Anfield, with a crowd behind them, and the crowd were feckin' brilliant, I have to say. You know, they were really behind their team. The team were pressing and the crowd responded, and I think that combination helped Liverpool go into a 4-1 lead. But a nervy last 10 minutes. Danny was in the room with me and he actually had to leave. Bernardo Silva latching onto the end of a loose ball to grab City's second, so 4-2 with 7 minutes left, and then some really poor defending by Liverpool let Ilkay Gundogan in to snatch the third, and you know, it really meant for a really shaky last couple of minutes. But it just goes to show, like, once the fourth goal went in, I said it's game over. There's no way Man City are coming back from this. Not a chance. And Danny said it to me. He said, with Liverpool, there's always a chance. And, you know, I never really believed him, but, you know, they proved me wrong. They very nearly threw it away. But, you know, I think they've done the league a favour in a way. They've certainly done Arsenal fans a favour. It hasn't been a good weekend for them. I'll get on to them in a minute. But I think teams will start to know how to play against Man City, and certainly it'll give a lot of teams confidence, especially playing them at home, to press them. And you know, there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. I mean, Liverpool did it brilliantly last night and deserved all 3 points and moved ahead of Chelsea. We'll get on to them in a while as well. Liverpool really did not miss Felipe Coutinho. Obviously a lot has happened since I've been talking to you last, and Coutinho has left Liverpool for €149 million to Barcelona, and I really did think they'd miss him in the middle of the park. You know, that kind of creative spark that they need, that any team needs really. But you know, last night they didn't really miss him. The three midfielders they had played very well. You know, you're looking at the likes of Wijnaldum, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Emre Can was in and out of it, I suppose. But they didn't miss him. The front three did the business for them. Mane, Salah, Firmino. And yeah, again, very deserved 3 points for Liverpool. Moving on to Arsenal now, and more transfer news. We'll get on to their result yesterday in a minute, but Alexis Sanchez looks like he's on his way to Manchester United for in and around the £35 million mark. And this off the back of Man City refusing to pay any more than 20 million for him. He's out of contract in the summer. There has been that kind of shakiness amongst Arsenal fans. They've Sanchez out of contract in the summer, Ozil and Wilshere, arguably their three best players this season. You know, Wenger reckons the deal for Sanchez could be done in the next 48 hours, and it'll be a massive loss for Arsenal. Massive loss. Arguably at times he's the only one that shows any kind of passion, but I think he's gone now. I think he's gone. So you need to concentrate, as Arsene Wenger needs to. He needs to concentrate on keeping Mesut Ozil at the club at all costs. He can't afford to lose him. He's the only player left really that has that's something special, you know. Jack Wilshere's been their best player the last couple of weeks. Obviously scored against Chelsea in the 2-2 draw at the Emirates, and he's just been Arsenal's best player. There's no one that's outshone him really, because with all the shit that's going on with Sanchez at the minute, and you know, Ozil's been injured, Wilshere has stepped up big time, and he's had to. Arsenal have needed that leader to step up, and you know, they haven't had it from anyone else. Lacazette is struggling at the minute for form. I think a lot of that is down to he's one of those strikers that needs good service around him, and he hasn't had Sanchez and Ozil with him recently. I mean, yesterday it won't be in Welbeck either side of him. Like, what's he meant to do? Like, what is he meant to do? There was actually times in the game yesterday where he was dropping back and trying to play as the playmaker, and I don't know. He needs help. He really does. Arsenal need to get Ozil back from injury and replace Sanchez as soon as possible. But to sell Sanchez to United, there is going to be huge uproar amongst the Arsenal fans, particularly after they sold Robin van Persie to them in 2013. So, you know, trouble for them. And on top of that, they lost to Bournemouth yesterday for the first time in their history. Put themselves 1-0 up early in the second half. Hector Bellerin scored, and you're thinking they're going to run away with it now. They were comfortable enough anyway. But like when they got the goal, you're thinking, I mean, surely that's it. They'll just kick on from here. But Bournemouth dug in. Ryan Fraser with the cross, Callum Wilson with the finish, and yeah, Bournemouth deservedly back in the game, level. And then getting the winner, Callum Wilson again involved, ball into his chest, chesting it down to Jordan Ibe, who scored his first goal for Bournemouth to get their first ever win against Arsenal at the top level. Incredible stuff. Arsenal are well away from it at the minute. They're going to really have to dig in deep to finish in this top four, and you know, they might struggle. Let's move on to Chelsea then. My God, we've been awful recently, haven't we? We've had 3 0-all draws, 3 consecutive 0-all draws for the first time in our history. You know, not good at all. And I didn't actually watch the highlights of the Chelsea-Leicester game at the weekend because I heard it was just absolute dog shit altogether. But from what I heard, Leicester actually deserved to win, and had Ben Chilwell not be sent off, which also I heard he shouldn't have been sent off. If he hadn't have been sent off, you know, Leicester might have won the game, and we could have easily been caught by Tottenham this weekend. You know, we're getting away with it. We dropped down to 4th after Liverpool beat City last night, which I was annoyed about, but happy at the same time that Liverpool beat City to end the winning streak, or to end the unbeaten streak. And yeah, Chelsea, you know, I don't know, Morata's struggling, similar to Lacazette. But you know what? Lacazette hasn't really had chances. I mean, how many of you watched the Chelsea-Arsenal game a couple of weeks ago? Morata should have had a hat-trick. Like, he missed 2 one-on-ones, and then a cross from Victor Moses that he should have finished. He started off his Chelsea career so well, and recently he's just petered off, to be honest. And that 2-2 with Arsenal that night, Diego Costa made his comeback for Atletico Madrid and scored. So I mean, that didn't rub it in anymore for us Chelsea fans. But Morata needs to start firing again. Hazard's not been at his best. He did get in Team of the Year, but he hasn't been at his best at all, to be honest. Bakayoko, I'm not convinced to it at all. I think the likes of Willian and Pedro should get more game time. I think they're maybe unfairly treated a little bit. The main thing as well at the minute is keeping the manager happy. The manager doesn't seem like he's in a good way at the minute. A lot of that is down to our transfer policy and the fact that nothing really comes down to him at the end of the day. We have signed Ross Barkley, which I think could be a good signing. 15 million. If we'd spent any more than that, I would have been fairly annoyed, to be honest. I think he's out of contract in the summer as well. So look, it's one of those ones. If he does well, it's a bargain. If he doesn't, well, it was only 15 million, you know, and 15 million is nothing in this day and age. But I think he does need a striker. I think Morata maybe has too much onus on him to get the kind of goals. I can't see him getting the kind of goals Diego Costa scored for us, and like Drogba scored for us. But I think there's a lot of pressure on him at the minute to be the main man, and I don't think he's that kind of player, you know. In other news, Harry Kane has broken Alan Shearer's record for Premier League goals in a year. That lad is flying. He's absolutely flying. I'd love to see him at Chelsea, but I can't see it happening, unfortunately. But no, he's absolutely flying. And Tottenham are flying at the minute as well. They're getting back to winning ways and catching us, unfortunately. Yeah. Man United play tonight against Stoke. The top 4 at the minute is very, very tight. You have ourselves, United and Liverpool all on 47 points, and Tottenham a further 3 then behind, and then Arsenal behind again, and Man City I think are 12 points clear at the top of the table. I mean, they're going to win the league. I don't think the result against Liverpool is going to, you know, cause any major uproar. But anyway, down the bottom of the table, Crystal Palace and West Ham seem to have come up with great escapes over the Christmas period. I think they're up in 12th and 13th respectively at the minute. And, you know, the promoted teams who all started the season so well, Brighton, Newcastle, Huddersfield, are all down around the bottom at the minute and struggling for form. You look at it, West Brom are struggling. Stoke, who don't even have a manager, they've been turned down by Quique Sanchez-Flores and Martin O'Neill so far, are down the bottom as well. Swansea have had a little bit of, I think they've picked up 5 or 6 points out of the 3 games that Carlos Carvajal has been in. Picked up a big win away to Watford, but they look like they're struggling as well. There's been a lot to catch up on because I've been away a while, but I hope you guys have enjoyed the return of the verdict. Once again, 15 likes. Can we hit 15 likes on the video? I think we can. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did like it, please leave a like. Subscribe if you are new. But I'll catch you later.